Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a Stitches and Stencils layout for you guys today. I am also playing along with Off the Board, and this is my inspiration for this particular layout. It is just what looks like somebody's logo or wall decor. I'm not really sure. So anyways, I pulled out this brand new to me stencil. I've used it a couple times, but it is from Stamperia. I got it from Cherry on Top. And then I'm also going to be using my blender brush with some black soot. I have my circle stitching template that is available in my shop, along with some brown thread. I'm also going to be using some black black soot distress spray, and then I pulled out my Creative Memories circle cutters, as well as I want to say this is a mix-up between my counterfeit kit as well as one of my kit conspiracy kits, as well as I think I have a piece of paper in here too that's not, I don't know, you guys. But here, these pieces here are all from a Kit Conspiracy kit. I believe it was week 1's Kit Conspiracy. I have this really cool photo of me and my kids. And then I have just some scraps left over from Kit Conspiracy, as well as this last little piece right here. It's the Explorer page from Legendary. And on the other side is this awesome mandala. I thought I was going to use the mandala for real, but I ended up wanting to use this stripe piece. And then, oh, this one here is from the counterfeit kit. So I mashed up those two pieces there. And then I have the Wonderlust Explorer paper for this one. So I didn't have any dark wood that I wanted to bring in, and so, or wood grain, I should say. And so I ended up picking from what else was on my desk. So I also have 2 tiny word stickers that came from 2 different sticker sheets from Cocoa Vanilla that were also in my my Kit Conspiracy kit. Wow, it's hard to get the two mixed up. And everything's going to go on top of a white piece of cardstock. So the first thing I wanted to do was see how big does my center circle need to be. So I want to focus on this 4x6 photo, and my example has what looks to be maybe 4.5, 5-inch circle, and I need it to be big so it can be visible behind my 4x6. I don't want it to be too small. I don't want it to be too big, but there's not really an in-between between this size circle and the 6.5-inch circle that you get from the smaller set. It's like there's no in-between there. Step it up, Creative Memories. We need another set. Honestly, we need an in-between. I'm just saying. And then I decided to go ahead and go and try to match up as close as possible to the other circles when it came to, the medium circles, the small circles, the smaller circles, and the mini circles, right? So I just went ahead and I'm doing the green, what is that called? Cutter, as well as the blue cutter, which the blue cutter is the farthest from the railing, and the green cutter is the next one in the middle, and then the red one is the closest one too. So I just wanted a small little gap. I'm not really sure exactly what the gap size is, because when I use it on the larger circle, the gap is smaller than when I use it on the smaller circles. Why that is, I don't know. But that's just how it turns out. And then I thought it was pretty cool to see my negative space and the two pair up and how close I got to each other. I don't know why I kept doing that. It just, to me, was pretty cool to see. And then I pulled out my 3/4-inch circle punch as well as my 1/2-inch circle punch. But the 3/4 ended up being a little bit on the bigger side, so I will have to trim those down. I didn't like how much brown was being seen. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and distress them, but then I'm going to trim them down because I didn't really like how much brown was around those edges. So I'm not going to show you guys how I did this to all the circles. It's pretty much the same technique, except that the larger they got, I was able to use my distress tool. And for these ones, they're so small, I just had to use my fingernails. So that's where they came in. But after that, I used my distress tool on all of those. Okay, so everything is distressed, glued together, ready to go. I'm going to center my large piece down, but first I'm going to trace it so I can do some stenciling. But I didn't want to sit there and trace everything. I just wanted to get my main stenciling down because some of the stenciling I want to go behind my circles as well. I'm trying to do a diagonal grid, just like what's on, not really a grid, but a diagonal design, just like what's in my inspiration piece. So I'm going to go from corner to corner instead of try to go all the way around. And now I'm going to line up all of my circles, and I want all the stripes to match. I think that that's going to look really cool design-wise, that this pattern paper just fell and dripped onto the circles or something. I don't really know. But I think having them go in the exact same angle all the way across is going to just look fabulous. Now here I'm just checking to see if I needed any more of the stencil work before I start doing some of my stitching. And my stitching, I'm going to decide, I want the circles to be between the medium circles and between the next size down circles. So that's where I want my stitching to be, is to fill in that gap, because I feel like there's a gap to be filled there as opposed to making them any smaller. And I decided that yes, I do need some more stenciling. So I went ahead and I traced all my circles. It's very, very light. You can barely see it, but it is there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and quickly just trace out where the illegible writing is. I know that I did some of the loopies and the arrows and things like that, but most of those are going to get covered up by the circles. All right, so now based off of where my stitching lines are, this is where I'm going to go ahead and start poking holes for my stitching guide. And deciding which one. So I overlapped my pencil line to see which circle on my stitching template matched the larger circle, and then I just went down from there, if that makes any sense. But I wanted to make sure that they're not going to be the same size as the next size down, and hopefully they're not. It was hard to tell. So anyways, now that I've got everything all done, and they're mostly half circles, I'm not really doing full circles because the rest of it will be covered up by the paper. So I don't really need to do stitching. I don't really need to stitch full circles. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch one circle for you guys just to show you guys how I do it. I do a back stitch, and when I do a back stitch, I go all the way around in and out on one side, and then I backfill the gaps on the other side. It's not a true back stitch. A true back stitch would actually, is where you start up and then go down, and then you go start away from that and go back every time. But I feel like you use a whole lot of thread because then you're skipping 2 holes instead of 1. So that's how I do my back stitching, just to try to save thread. That's it. Like I need to save thread. But you get what I'm saying. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down, but I want all of the rest of the stitching to be on top of the smaller circles. So that way it looks like they interact with my paper circles. And so I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that by stitching one more circle for you guys, because I know stitching is very, very boring. But I'm just going, and I poked the hole first and then put my smaller circle down, and then I poked the holes on top of the smaller circle. That way, when I am poking through 3 layers of paper, especially 49 and market paper, I don't have to poke through all 3 layers. This one I only had to poke through 2 because the holes at the bottom were already there. So that is what that is going to look like. And then some of my circles as well will be popped up. I don't really show that very well. Oh, here I am showing it very well. I didn't think I did. I thought I thought I skipped it, but some of them will be glued straight down and some of them will be popped up, just again for some dimension and also to make it look like it's flowing. So, and then one more time, I'm going to go ahead and just put my circle template over my circles and poke in those extra holes that I want to be overlapped, right? And then I am using only 4 threads as opposed to all 6 threads. I just decided to use 4 because when I pulled some threads, the first set of floss off this little carrier sheet, it was 4, and I thought, oh, 4 is perfect. So that's where I came up with that number, and that is what that looks like. I absolutely love it. And now I'm going to go ahead and put all of my little circles down. Now, I think it's upside down. If I'm being honest, but I'm okay with that. Right now it's upside down. I fix it. I promise you guys, I fix it. It does end up going the right way, but when I put my smaller circles down, for some reason, I am completely upside down, and I don't know why, but there we have it. My last little circle going on. I love this background. Sometimes working on the background is where it's at. Sometimes I just need to spend more time on the background than it does taking the time to actually do the layout, and it is so well worth it. I absolutely love this layout. It's a cool picture of me and my kids, and behind us is Shoshone Falls in Idaho, and you can't even see it because we take up the whole camera space. Like, there's so many of us. But yes, that is us, and just having fun with, looking at stuff, right? And being outside. So I'm going to take some of these smaller pieces. Now, this tag does not end up making it. I thought that I was going to put it and rip it in half and put it behind where I put that white scrap of paper, and then just make it look like it's longer than it really is. But then I end up completely forgetting about it. I set it off to the side just to see. I was like, oh, I'm going to see what my design looks like first and go from there. And yeah, it gets completely forgot. So yeah, save it for another day, I guess. And now I'm trying to figure out where all of my pieces go. And for some reason, I feel like I'm covering up too many of the circles. Like I just feel like the design isn't working the way I want it to. I'm also putting my title along that same angle as my stripes are. I thought that looked pretty cool, as well as I don't know what the word is, but I just thought that was neat, because then it keeps going with the angles as opposed to fighting the angles and going across. So, but yeah, here, one of these times I'm going to build like the entire layout without showing you guys that I flipped this paper. But I knew that this circle, or that trees, were going to fit. I really did. But I don't know how. So this looks better. I finally flipped it over. This looks 10 times better. I'm super excited with how this ended up looking and how it's going about, and everything fits way better in the end, I'm going to have to say. So I like the little addition of the trees, because I just wanted that feel that we are outside. And then, of course, my little saying, I can't remember what it says, but something about the wild, wild world, but I don't remember exactly what it says. And then these are my last little stars. I've been hoarding them for long enough, but they are my last little stars from the Legendary collection. I think I ended up with 2 of these because I loved these little stars so much. But yes, I am finally getting those all used up. Now I have just the paper to cut, which is fine. It just takes longer. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down, or figure out how to glue everything down and where. So that way I can move on to the enamel dots. The trees are actually a sticker, so that works really well. And the 9 times out of 10, the Cocoa Vanilla thicker stickers or chipboard stickers actually stick. So that's awesome. At first, when I first started peeling the sticky back off, I was actually peeling the layer of stick off with it, and so I had to start in a different angle and go from there. So to get the sticky to show, or not to show, to actually work. And so yes, I did move out my little wild, wild world saying, just so that way the arrow wasn't on the photo as much. And this is where I realized, oops, I forgot that, but it looked good without it. So I am not going to put that on there. Yeah, it does look good right there, but no, save it for another day. That's what's going to happen. So lifting up my little journal spot that I have, I'm just going to write down where we were and what month it was. So that way we know that we have been to Shoshone Falls. I think it was Gabriel's first time in Shoshone Falls, but I believe the other 3 have been there with their dad before. I think. So, and then I'm just going to use all of the black enamel dots. I thought I was going to be using, well, when I first put this little page kit together, I thought I was going to be using the blue dots so I could add more blue to my layout, but I really didn't need to. I really like the blue, or the black and the brown mixed. I definitely like that. And then I'm just going to very, very, very lightly tap some of the black splatter. For one, I'm almost out. I need to get a new jar. But I just wanted little bits here and there, so I'm using the tool as just like a poker to poke some ink around, and that is it, you guys. I absolutely love how this turned out and what it ended up looking like just based off of whatever this design was. I have absolutely no idea. It just appealed to me, having all those circles and dimension and things like that. So yes, I definitely absolutely loved it. I said that too many times now. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with me with Stitches and Stencils. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, as well as Sandy Reversky's channel. She is State Goddess here on YouTube. I apologize. I had a little brain fart there for a second. So don't forget to check out their channels, because they are my partners in crime when it comes to Stitches and Stencils. And also too, don't forget to check out Off the Board and the playlist that I have down below for Off the Board, because that is where all of the YouTubers are putting their inspiration that they've been playing with all month long down in there. And again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly appreciate it every day. And I will check you guys all later. Bye.